Hello, my angels. So I wanted to have a discussion today on fashion and pricing. Now, you guys know that I have been buying a lot of luxury makeup, skincare, random things throughout the year, but a lot of vintage bags. But I've been buying vintage bags since 1998 when eBay first started. Like, seriously. So I've been shopping vintage because I remember going online and being like, why are these prices so cheap? Like, I was looking up Fendi and Gucci and Louis Vuitton, all that stuff back then. And because, and I made a video about this and in various videos, and you're going to see how for the price of one bag for under $4,900, I actually bought 11 bags, vintage, and they're beautiful. And you're going to see all of the vintage bags. So that video is coming soon. I don't know if I'm going to post it before this one or after that one. So the question is, what is the value of a bag? Is it the quality, the materials, the name, the trend? And do trends really matter? That's what I want to talk about today, because when I grew up, I was never trendy. Like, everyone's like, oh, I want this and I want that. Like when the Marc Jacobs Louis Vuitton denim collection came out, I was like, no, because I already knew that wasn't a classic piece. Now think about it like this. All these new pieces that are being reissued, go look on the secondhand market. They're not selling for much. They're going to sell for something now, but then it makes you wonder, did they, the luxury, not, I'm sure they didn't, but did some of these luxury brands go out and buy a lot of these secondhand bags, then create the new bags, knowing that you guys were going to go to the market and get the secondhand bag, and then they could sell it for like thousands of dollars when they only bought it for like $300 to $400? That's another way to make money, right? So look at the price now for those items. They're not the same. They're not investment pieces, and that's another thing I wanted to talk about. I should probably make multiple videos, but I don't, I never believed in the investment piece. Like, everyone's like, it's an investment piece. I'm like, no, it's not. It's an investment piece today, but it's not going to be an investment piece 10 or 20 years from now. Because all of the bags that are 10 or 20 years old are not worth $10,000. Even if it's a Birkin, they're just not. It's a hyperinflated, false sense of security. In order for it to be an investment piece, you can't use it. And Hermes needs to like go out of business to the point where it's like, oh my God, they're not making them anymore. And so there's value there because people follow it and they like it, right? But if people start following and liking something else, the value depreciates. It actually is eliminated. There's no value anymore because nobody cares about it. How many luxury brands existed in the 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s that are not luxurious anymore? Like Dooney & Burke, I love Dooney & Burke. It's an understated brand. And it's high quality, all weather leather. Their bags, not now, but in the past, their vintage bags, just like vintage Coach, were superior to the current state of the same brand. Superior. Now, Dooney & Burke has kind of maintained it, and Hermes has maintained their stature, but all the other brands have slightly fallen a little bit. So, with that said, why are we paying $10,000 for a double flap? Is it worth it? The answer is a straight up no. Across the board, all the influencers, even wealthy people, they're all like, this is ridiculous. What is happening? Now, this is what's happening. They're not targeting us because we already have. Okay, so this is what I wanted to talk about. The people like myself that already have a beautiful collection, we're like, we don't need another bag. We're okay. We'll just use the ones we have. Plus the quality's fallen to crap. We don't care. Bye. Maybe we'll buy 1 or 2 new bags. I'm okay with waiting until it goes, the prices drop. I'm okay with waiting 5 years until the prices drop, and then I'll get the bag I wanted. There's no way I'm paying retail. It's like a car. You drive it off the lot. The moment you drive it off the lot, it depreciates, and it keeps depreciating, and the value of the car will never be what the price tag was. That's why I never buy a new car. Never. I will never buy a new car. Maybe if I win the lotto or my book does well, right? So I look at it like that. Like, I don't even think I want to. I would get like a lease return. I don't know. I just know that the value of the car is not worth it. Like in my brain, it's like, yeah, you want it, but do you need it? And yeah, it might be nice, but I don't know. We'll find out when the day comes. So I'm looking at it like with us, with our generation, if you're like in your 30s or 40s, some people are even in their 20s and they already have every bag they ever wanted. And they're like, no, I'm okay. I don't need to spend money on this, whatever, bye. We have a collection. So it's easy for us. When you have something, it's easy for you to walk away from it. When you don't have it and you always wanted it, it's not that easy, right? So that's why they're not targeting us. I don't know if you guys have seen the new Chanel commercial. It's basically two little girls that end up being like teenagers or in their 20s, early 20s, and then they're wearing Chanel bags and they're going out having a good time with their friends and blah, blah. They're not catering to us anymore. They're catering to the new generation that wants their first, or if their parents haven't given them a luxury bag, or even if they have, that wants that specific bag. Because I know I'm 44, right? And I just bought the 2011 Gucci Fendi Peekaboo that I wanted. And I never stopped wanting that bag. And I bought two of them for $500 each when they were $2,500 at retail. And I'm at peace with it. But I got my bag. Just like all those people that bought the Louis Vuitton with the cherries. They waited, the price went down, they bought it. You know, all the people that wanted the Louis Vuitton Cabas, same thing. A Chanel double flap. There was a time where they were super cheap. They were inexpensive. And then the hype came around, and then it started getting expensive and people started selling their bags. Why are so many people getting rid of the bags, even though they're on trend now? Because they know it's not worth it. They've already got the use out of it. When you're in your 40s and 50s, it's up to everybody's different. We're all different. A lot of people are not going to want to be rocking the denim Louis Vuitton, even though it's in style now. They're either going to give it to their kids, nieces, nephews, something like, you know what I mean? So what is the value of the bag that you're using? Because if you look at Tanner Leatherstein, which everybody keeps talking about, I'm like, wow, this guy got famous fast. Because at first everybody was disagreeing with him, and now they're all talking about him. It's not just about the materials and the labor. It's not. Because there's always an additional cost if you have a storefront. There's always an addition. We're not talking about online sellers. There's always, even then you have to store it. You have to make it and store it. And that costs money because you need the warehouse and you need the facility. And you know what I mean? Like, so there's always additional costs that nobody talks about. So any business is going to have to charge a decent markup. But these prices are egregious. Like a Chanel double flap for $10,000, $4,000 to $5,000 max until like 2040. Like it's just, it doesn't, well, 2000, yeah, maybe 35. Then you could maybe up it a little bit, but there's no reason for that bag to be anywhere over $5,000. I don't even think that bag is worth $5,000. I think that's a $2,500 bag, flat. But if you want to add the prestige and the heritage and all that. So a lot of people are saying that these big companies are just pocketing all this money, playing us for a fool, targeting the younger people who are still seeking their first, who don't have a collection. They're still seeking their first bag. So my question is, because I'm going on the vintage market. Everybody's going on the vintage market now, right? Even if they're fake, they're still better. And some of the fake ones are, I'm not saying that this is alleged. Everything I'm saying is my personal opinion, not rooted in truth or facts, just what I've heard on YouTube, just what I've seen and experienced in my life and what's happening to my friends and what my clients are telling me. And then what everyone else that I've talked to in person that has luxury bags has said to me. Okay, so I have 4 authentic Chanel bags. I had 8 in my collection. I sold a few. Now I have 4. No. 6. Sorry. Because 2 of them are at my mom's house. But 4 here. And I sold like 3 or 4 of them. So I had a total of 10 out. But never at the same time. It's like they came and went and blah, blah, blah. And none of them were over $2,500. Not one. And I thought that was a lot of money. Why would I pay $5,000 to $10,000? Now we're older. The older people are like, wait a minute. We know that you could take that money and multiply it if you invested in stocks or if you buy real estate. That's 1 month's rent. So you buy a house or you buy like a multi-dwelling unit or you buy an apartment building and you rent out the units and you can get multiple. Every month you could be getting money like that. If you got money like that to burn because you have all this disposable income because you're constantly getting money from the people that are renting from you, then yes. If you have money to burn and your daughter's 15 or 16, oh, mommy, but I really want the Chanel double flap. Please, 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 can you please get it for me? I could see how that could touch a parent's heart if you have that much money. Even if you don't and you just want to save, you want to give your daughter everything in the world, you know, or your gay son or your son if he's really into fashion, right? But is it worth it? No. The answer is no. No matter what, no, it is not worth it. It's no, it's not worth it. But I understand their marketing ploy, the fact that you want it so bad. People work hard, they save their money, they buy it, and then they move forward. I'm here to tell you go look on the pre-loved market. And I get it if it's your first bag and you want it to be new and you want that experience of opening it up with the tissue paper. Oh my God. And then you open the tissue paper and then you open the dust bag and then it's, I get it. I get it. Fine. 1 or 2 bags. But all these prices are, you guys, I'm telling you, it is far better and more fulfilling for you to buy a property, whether it's an apartment, and then you meet someone and then you get married and then you guys buy a house and you rent that apartment, and then that money, because now the apartment's paid off, right? Now you get that extra $1,500, $2,000 to help pay the mortgage of the house that you guys are, you know what I mean? And that's disposable income maybe for you if your partner doesn't even know you had that apartment, right? Like buying that money right there. And then you could go buy your luxury things, right? But not everybody has that luxury. But now that you've watched this video, it's going to make you think, which is what I want you guys to do, about your future and what you're spending your money on. Because you can invest your money if you know how, and if you're confident. I mean, a lot of people do lose money in the beginning and blah, blah, blah. But think about how you spend your money. Is what you are spending your money on making you money? Because if what you're spending your money on is making you money, then you can take that extra money and buy these ridiculously priced bags. But if you're working paycheck to paycheck just to get the bag, and I get it, it doesn't matter what I say. I want the bag. And that first bag, your first luxury bag, you guys, it will be your favorite. You will never get rid of it. Like, it's your baby. Like, I worked so hard for this. You don't understand. This is my bag, and it was so good. And then I did this, and I went here, and I went there, and blah blah blah. I get it. So I'm not talking to the first-time buyers. I'm not talking to people that are just starting their luxury collection, because you can't help it, right? I'm talking about people who they have 2 or 3 luxury bags, and they're like, and they're saving and they're scrimping to get that. It is perception. It is perceptive value. But the truth is, it's not worth it. The materials, the quality, the customer service, the aftercare. Put it all together, compare it to the experience you had in the 70s, 80s, 90s, and early 2000s, and it does not compare. It is not the same. It is not worth it. Now, we don't live in those times. We live in today. There is a vintage market out there. You can have all these luxury bags. They're remaking bags that were vintage, so you can get that same bag, better quality. It's just not going to be brand new. I know there's a segment of people out there that they're like, I don't want anything used. I want everything new. I don't care. I don't want old. I want new. Okay, do that. But if you can, practice delayed gratification. Invest your money in an apartment. Rent it out. Let the people who are renting it pay the mortgage. When that's paid off, that's all profit minus the property taxes. I hope you get where I'm going with this. I don't see anybody else talking about that. And I want to talk about it with you. Then you go crazy. Because you have disposable income. You have an asset. It burns or something happens, boom. You know what I mean? If you have insurance, you're good. But if it's a flood zone, you have to be careful, because with the flood zones, a lot of places don't give you flood insurance. Your house gets flooded, you're screwed. Acts of God, not covered by most things. Do you know what I mean? So there are other factors to consider as a homeowner. Then you get fines, you get tickets, you get it's not just easy peasy, Latin easy. No, there's not. There's always something. Property taxes, sometimes they go up, sometimes they go up. They seldom ever go down, but sometimes they do, but they really don't. Then you have to make sure everything's in paper. And then what happens if, God forbid, you die, your family wants to get it. The property goes in probate if you didn't have a will. Some people want it in an LLC, and then they just transfer the name of the person that's in the LLC to somebody else's name, and then they can transfer it that way. Some people put it in trusts. Those are a whole other shit. But still, it's not that easy, because if you don't have it as an LLC or in a trust, and you don't have a will, then it gets stuck with the banks. Even if you give it to your kids, if they inherit it, they have to pay the capital gains on that, and sometimes they can't, and then you end up losing the house anyway. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, this is just a lot. But multi-dwellings, apartment buildings, they tend to pay for themselves. You still have to fix it. There's maintenance. There's the boiler breaks, the water pipe bursts, the electricity goes out. There's always something. The window breaks. You know, you're like, what? The roof caves in because you forgot to roof it because you didn't know that every 10 years you got to put new tar on the roof and tiles and like, there's just a lot, right? The fireplace, like just, there's always something, right? Pipes burst because you didn't let a little water drip and then they froze and then it cracked. And so yes, there's also negative things to having that. But my question is, what is more valuable to you? I just saw Sophie Shohei and she was like, you know, I look at this bag and I'm like, wow, that's $5,000. That's a holiday. I can go away with my hubby for like a week or longer, depending on how frugal you guys want to be, especially if the bag is $10,000. So now people, if you guys notice, everyone's going to start talking about experiences. Right? I have a page called Where's Mayra on Instagram, and that's where I'm going now, but I'm going to start a website not until like March or April of next year because I'm working on Give Me the Look right now. And I'm going to do all my throwbacks, all my travel experiences from the past, because they're priceless. And every time I look at the footage, no matter how sad I am in life, I watch the footage and I get happy because I'm like, I can't be sad. I've had so many wonderful experiences. I've traveled the world. I've been to 27 countries. I've done this. I have a nice collection, but I can't get upset. Are you going to have the same thing? And I just got inspired from the movie Titanic when she had all those little pictures at the end. And you see her whole life, you know, the one that survived. And then you see all the pictures of her riding the horse and doing this. And I was like, I want to live a life like that. And then I did. So what kind of life do you want to live? Do you want to walk around wearing a $10,000 purse? Or do you want to take that $10,000 and break it down into 5 trips and have 5 adventures, 5 experiences? Or do you want to save it, put it on a down payment for something, get that extra money? Like, you have options that you didn't even know you had because you're so focused on buying this one bag. You know, and then there are people that have money to burn. I'm not talking to you. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to everybody else. The rest of the population. So, what are your thoughts? I've talked about a lot of different things. What are your feelings about everything? Do you think I have a point? Or are you just like, oh my gosh, she's just talking to dog. Like, what do you feel about the prices of the bags? The quality? Is it worth it? Should you start your collection? What do you think about vintage? Do you trust the pre-loved market? Do you believe that even luxury bags are worth it? You know, because there's a lot of people that are like, I'm not even going to bother with a luxury bag. I'm going to get this bag because it's still full leather and it's nice and it's a high quality brand. And like, I don't want logos. Sophie Shohei was also saying it's not safe. That sometimes when you buy these bags, you walk out of the store and they rob you right away. They're waiting for you outside the store. So she walks in with an unbranded bag, like a fold-up one, puts her bag in that bag. Like she walks in with a tote, puts it in the tote, and then walks out. And you'll never know that the bag is in there. That's crazy. So now you want an expensive bag, but you can get robbed on your way home coming out of wherever you're coming from, whether it's dinner, when you're leaving the store that you just bought the bag. There's so many stories on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok of people being robbed the moment they walk out of the store or when they're on vacation or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, so is it really worth it? I don't know. I have my collection. I'm at peace. You know, and most of my collection is vintage. It's really not. I don't have a lot of current bags. I have 9 or 10 current bags. And most of them were just given to me. I wasn't buying them. I'm not buying them at all. So what are your thoughts? How do you feel about the current state of luxury? Even the experience. I remember when you used to go in, we would sit down and they would give us champagne and we would buy a bunch of things and they had time for us because not everybody was going into these stores. And mind you, these prices were $300 to $400. They weren't $3,000 to $4,000. You know, the bag maybe at most was $800,000 back then. And we still had the ability to be treated well. And they knew you. And every time you came back, they were like, oh, hi, how are you? Now, and then you brought your bag back and they were glad to fix it. Now they don't want to fix your bag. Oh, we can't fix it. No, it's not in the rules. No. Now they're talking about lifetime warranty. With the prices you're charging, you better have lifetime warranty. But I guarantee you when you try to bring your bag in the future, there's always going to be an issue. We can't fix it. We can't match it. We can't do this. Da-da-da-da, blah, 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 and ga, right? So this is just alleged. It's just my thoughts. They're not rooted in truth or facts. This is just my opinion. This is kind of where I see things going. Now you have to wait in line They look at you like, hurry up. Half the stuff you want is not in stock. So you were waiting in line for no reason. With Hermes, you got to take whatever they offer you. You don't even get to pick what you want. It doesn't even matter if that's what you want. I want that, but in this color, we don't have it. We have it in this color. And then you're like, ah. Oh. Then you take it because you're convinced it's an investment piece. Meanwhile, there's proof in the market of the vintage market that none of these are investment pieces. Maybe the Chanel's, the price went up from the original cost. So we're making a profit because we got it cheap, right? So we got it cheap because it was worth, there was an equivalent there. But y'all ain't getting it cheap. So if you buy it now and you try to sell it, is it really an investment piece? Is it really going up? And are they really going to keep... Because now everybody's buying super fakes. What about that? That's a whole nother subject. Maybe I should have done different videos. Maybe I will. Maybe I won't. No, I'm kidding. So what are your thoughts? How do you feel? I probably will make an individual series because I don't think a lot of people are going to watch this one video. If I see that a lot of people have viewed this video, then awesome. But if not, then I'll just make individual videos for each topic because I just feel that, that's like they're all long conversations, I personally, can you tell, don't think any of this stuff is worth it anymore. Not even the belts, not the scarves. A Louis Vuitton scarf $1,000. Bro, that's not made out of gold. Is it made out of wool? Was it made out of cotton? You put it through a machine, right? Why is it $1,000? $300, $200, I get it. $1,000? No. Shame on you. Shame on you, and shame on you for buying it and enabling them. Because if we don't buy it, they will either lower their prices or go out of business, which is what they deserve. So why are we enabling them by buying it, knowing that we know that it's not worth it? Like how addicted to being relevant are we that we have to, look, I got the new bag. Look, it's new. Look, this is the one that everybody's wearing. Look. Why is that important? I've never cared about trends. I literally buy things like a year or two later. My mom's like, you're so delayed, Mayrita. And I'm like, I'm not delayed. I'm just financially smart when it comes to stuff like that. Because why am I going to pay full price for something, right? Aside from that, I look at it and I'm like, I like classic pieces. I like classic elegance. I like simplicity. I go a little avant-garde here and there. But overall, I like classics. Something that I know will last me now. And then I don't have to keep buying new pieces every season because I could just mix and match the pieces that I have because they were so classic that, and no matter what the trend is, I will fit in because they're classics. You can't mess with a classic. Do you know what I mean? Like you just can't. Like a classic is a classic. It's always going to look good. From the 1920s through 2020, classic pieces still look good. A pleated skirt will always look good. A V-neck sweater, I mean, this one is really low. Really high, but like a regular V-neck sweater, colors in cream, beige, gray, navy, black. Well, I'm not a big fan of black, but a lot of people wear black. Hunter green. Those are very classic colors. They will always look good. They will always be in style. Some people will think the Hermes orange is classic. You can go with that too. A nice deep red is a classic. And then you get these pieces that are interchangeable summer, spring, fall, winter. No matter what the trend is, you can get an inexpensive version of the trend, put it on top with your classic outfit, and you're trendy. Do you know what I mean? Like it never goes out of style. It doesn't. And they call it quiet luxury, but is it really? Because I see these people spending money anyway. Last story and I'm done. When I was a personal assistant I was an executive assistant to a billionaire, but then she used me as her personal assistant, right? And her brother, she was like, he dresses like he's homeless, but everything he wears is over $1,000. I don't understand this generation. I will never forget that statement, right? And I've worked with multiple, like dozens of billionaires, right? Dozens. And like that was the one comment that blew my mind, And it's true. Because for that generation, this was back in and for that generation, that was the look. Like everybody looked like they didn't spend a lot of money. They looked dirty, but they weren't. But they looked dirty, like they hadn't showered maybe in a few days. But that was the style, And they're like, but everything on his body, even his t-shirt's like $400. but it doesn't look it. And that's the style? There's a hole in it. It's like, exactly. I can't. No, I can't. They don't even make linen the way they used to make it. Get a Ralph Lauren linen shirt from the 90s and compare it to a linen shirt now. Not even close. Get a cotton Ralph Lauren shirt from the 90s and compare it to the most expensive brand now. Not even close. Guys. Not. So, it's not fair that this generation doesn't have the luxury of knowing what luxury is and being able to afford it at a price that makes sense to them. There are a lot of kids coming out of college. When I worked at Uber, I'm like, these guys are coming out of college making 100 and something thousand a year. I'm the office manager and I'll make less than them. And they're out of college and I have 15 years experience. What is going on with the world? They discard the old and they welcome the new, because either way, everybody's going to get screwed in the end. No matter, just. So how do you not get screwed? Own silver, own gold, own real estate. Own assets that are making you money. Businesses. Please think outside the box. I'm doing this for you, not for me. Nobody ever taught me. I did it all by myself. And I'm still figuring it out. You know what I mean? So what are your thoughts? What do you think? Let me know. I'm so curious for this conversation we're going to have in the comment section. And what is the thing that you think would change everything? Like, do you have a solution? Do you have an answer? Do you have something that you think would bring everything back to normal? Is it ever going to happen? Are we ever going to balance out? I don't know. You tell me.